So right now is day 4 of our 5-day Big Blend Radio Celebrate Music and the Arts Festival. It's very exciting. And we have Victoria Chick, artist Victoria Chick from Silver City, New Mexico, sitting in as guest co-host. And Victoria, are you having fun yet?
I am having lots of fun.
Good. Well, good. Because if you weren't, I'm like, we're going to have to do something. My gosh. Yeah. But our next segment is about Exeter, California. Exeter is in Central California and right outside Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park and also Sequoia National Forest. And when we talk about Exeter, you know who's coming on the show. We've got Sandy Blankenship. She is the executive director of the Exeter Chamber of Commerce. She's our local tour guide when we go up to Exeter. And usually when she joins us on the show, she's got Walter, the town cat, beside her. So anyway, go to their website, exeterchamber.com, because you'll be able to see their mural tour and a guide so you can see all the beautiful art that you can really experience. You want to do more than see it on a piece of paper. Trust me, you want to go and see them because they are pretty huge. And they are beautiful, beautiful murals and also sculptures, which is why we're going back, because we are behind on murals and sculptures in Exeter. So welcome back, Sandy. How are you?
I am great. How is everyone doing on your end?
We're having a party. It's Friday, Sandy.
Oh, yay!
Hey, it is good to have you back on the show. I don't know if you've been on a show with Victoria, but welcome. And there you are. Victoria, meet Sandy. And
hi.
And Walter.
Hi, Sandy.
Hello, Victoria. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I've been to your town a long time ago. Yeah.
Oh.
So long ago there were no murals. So I think this is very exciting.
Yes,
wow.
Yes, we've done a lot. We've come a long way since then.
How many murals? Over 30, right, that you have?
Yes, we're on 32.
Wow. Whoa. That's cool.
Yeah, we've retired 3. And then, we keep numbering them consecutively because we want to remember the ones that we've retired. And usually they've been replaced with a different mural, just because we either had problems with the plaster on the wall or that something had happened to it that's beyond repair, and we'd have to remove it completely in order to fix it. So we just decided to freshen it up and do something different for to keep. We want people to keep coming, and we want people not to say, "Oh, I've already seen that. Don't need to go back." We want to make sure that we're constantly doing something to keep them fresh.
Cool. Oh, that's cool. Like that. There's one thing, Victoria sent us on a public art story series, a mission for our Love Your Parks tour. And we have a public art map on nationalparktraveling.com. If everyone goes there and looks at the Love Your Parks tour tab, you'll see a link for interactive maps. And so we started that with public art. And one of the first places was, hey, Exeter. And we were covering all this before, but then Victoria kind of put this bee in our head of like, you girls, you should be doing a little bit more than that. Parks and public art do go hand in hand as something that we've seen. And Exeter really, I think you were one of the first towns that made us realize that what a big program it is. What was it that led you as a community to say we're going to start putting murals up?
Well, there was some local residents that were vacationing, and they ran across the town up in British Columbia called Chemainus, and this town was a logging timber town that kind of quit doing that. They were exhausted with their with the trees, and so they weren't doing that type of work anymore. A milling town. And so they had to figure out a way to reinvent themselves and to make people want to come off the highway into their town. And so gentleman Carl Schutz, he started a mural program. and it has been wonderful. They are now a tourist destination in that area, and people know about them. And so some residents came back. We had a building burn in the center of town, unfortunately, a huge, beautiful brick building, and kind of left a blighted corner in our town, right into the city center. And so they thought this might be something good to put on the brick wall that is now exposed. And so they went to city council, told them about this program and how, and like all little small towns, our downtown was starting to dry up. Businesses weren't doing well because we had the malls and the big box stores just starting to come and be more popular and easier to shop in than your local downtown stores. So they talked to city council. The city council took a chance, and they commissioned the very first mural that went on that corner with the brick wall that was exposed. And now it's a beautiful little park that faces the mural. And they turned it over to the Chamber of Commerce, the program. We have had a committee that oversees this, and they're under our foundation, Exeter by Design Foundation, so that donations are tax deductible to the program. But it has been so wonderful. The first mural was completed in 1996, and it has just been really wonderful for our community. It just added another shot in the arm. People really took some extra pride in the appearances of their businesses. New businesses started to come in, and it has just been a really good project, and it was money well spent. Now we raise the money for the murals. The city isn't responsible for all of them. They're not paying for all of them. We raise the money as a committee, have fundraisers in order to continue the project.
Cool. I think that's wonderful, Sandy. That you've got so much community support for what you're doing.
Yes, because we have to raise quite a bit of money. I mean, they don't come cheap.
No.
A lot of our mural artists, one mural artist in particular, she'd never done a mural, the very first one that she did, and now she does them all over the place. I mean, she was an accomplished artist on her own, but not with murals, just normal oil paintings and stuff, and a beautiful artist, by the way. And so we kind of launched her into this new realm. And so she's been very good to us as far as doing some, more for us than she might do for, another community. But she thinks of Exeter fondly.
That's awesome.
I'm sure she does. Yeah, the paints and the preparation of the walls and stuff is really involved for outdoor art like that. So,
that's why I said we sometimes have to retire one, because early on the plastering and stuff, sometimes we had to apply new plaster, and we've learned a lot. The committee itself has learned a lot on how to get these walls ready so that they will last. And that's why we've had to retire some, as we've had issues, and it was just going to be more costly to tear it down and repaint it, so that's why we decided to do a different painting and again keep it fresh.
I wanted to ask you too, Sandy, isn't this what led you to be the prettiest town in America, or prettiest place? There was a designation.
Oh, the prettiest painted places.
Yes,
we did win that designation back in 2001, I believe. It's with the Quality Paint Institute. They do this annually or every few years, but it's also, you have to show homes, businesses, as well as the murals, so that all of those things tied in helped us to win that contest.
Wow,
cool. This is why I just say, like, when we go to communities and they're starting to look at tourism, I'm like, you need to look at what Exeter is doing in regards to, like, a first step. I know events always help. And you guys, how long has your fall festival been going, Sandy? This is insane, everyone.
107 years.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I was telling Victoria as we started the show, obviously in our audience too.
Yeah, I assume you don't have the same chairman every year.
No.
But it's interesting because you guys have a mercantile. I was telling Victoria, like you could go buy a tractor or a dress, whatever you want in the mercantile
Well, I think
store.
that is cool.
Yes.
I love it.
And that business has been owned by the same family for over 100 years.
Wow.
And their building is absolutely gorgeous too. It's in one of the old style brick buildings, and it's very much a showpiece in our community. They decorate the windows beautifully, and so it's quite a pleasure just to even walk by it. But yeah, it's very unique.
You know, what I love about the murals, and also I know you've got new sculptures, but Nancy and I can't wait. We're going to come see you in spring. We're hoping all that will work with this whole COVID thing, that, you know, we'll get up there. We missed you this year, and we can't wait to get back. And the thing is, you're telling the story of the community, the region, whether it's the, you know, fauna and flora, or whether it's the newspaper, which is one of my favorites, murals, or, you know, it's the agriculture side when you show all the different fruit box labels and things like that, as you're telling the history. And I know we chatted with you about this before. We didn't even get to air the interview because COVID happened and events didn't happen. We talked earlier this year about your spring garden tour and garden party that you have every year that helps, you know, is part of the fundraiser for the murals. But we were sheltered in place in 29 Palms, California, right outside Joshua Tree National Park. And this is how much, you know, how history is told in murals. And 29 Palms is known as the oasis of murals. They've got, I think, over 60 pieces of art in 29 Palms. And 29 Palms, I mean, it's right outside Joshua Tree. So that, you know, you go to the visitor center there, you've got, you know, kinetic sculptures, and so they're all part of this. It's an art community as well. But Nancy and I, again, you know, normally we're walking dogs or we're taking a walk ourselves or whatever. And we went to, we were staying at our friend Jerry Hagman's, who's got a Homestead Inn. And Nancy and I are doing our morning walk at Lucky Park. It's a community park with exercise stuff and baseball fields and all of this stuff, basketball fields, skateboard parks. And we were right by the skateboard park, and there was a mural. I'm like, oh, cool, public art for Victoria, right? So I go look at the mural, and it's of basketball players, and one of the which was a big deal for 29 Palms to get out there on an actual statewide circuit. It's a huge deal for the kids, and there's a whole history of how they did this. But one of the players in the mural is from Exeter, California. And I'm like, no way, two art towns, two public, you know, here's the two mural towns with, you know, here's a 29 Palms kid and an Exeter kid, California history for basketball. And what's interesting, too, is that Chuck Kaplinger, an artist in 29 Palms, and we recently interviewed him, too, he did a mural in Exeter, California. So I'm like, what are the odds of that? It's crazy. So it's all connected in some way. It's just amazing to me, Sandy. You know?
Yes, we do. All of our murals depict some type of history, and they have to have historical statistics to go along with it. I mean, either they come from pictures, actual photographs, or written documentation. And I mean, we allow the artists to take some license into making them appealing to you know, to tourists and that sort of thing, because most of the pictures are black and white, so they can't really, they have to add color, and so it's they're all historically based.
I thought
cool.
on this website I was looking at, I thought the murals were really interesting that had the painting of the scene, and then it kind of superimposed laying on top of it is sort of the giant black and white photograph, you know, I painted on, and I thought that was really nice to utilize those old photographs the way that artist did.
Yeah,
and I call them photographs, but I know they're not. I know they're painted, but I mean, it's really effective because you could sort of see, some of them sort of see them done and now.
Cool.
Yeah, most of them we give them like several photographs of the same type of subject or even the same or the same place, and then the artist can take those and meld them together. So you wouldn't always be able to say this photograph is this mural.
Right.
And which is good because you want it to be appealing and interesting to look at. And then another interesting aspect of our murals is we have hidden objects in them. And some of them are very easy to find and some of them are a little more difficult. And so it makes them a little more interesting. And children, of course, are really quick at picking out the secret, the hidden objects. But I have a little harder time, even though I know where most of them are. I sometimes get up there and I'm like, I can't find it. But it makes it a little more fun.
That's fun.
Sure.
I like that. Well, that's cool. Walter the cat. Okay, so yes. Walter, now Victoria's a cat lady, and I mean that. I mean, really, look at her art, and I know Victoria wants to hit me over the head right now for saying that, but she paints a lot of cats, and she has, but there's no one on earth that gets the cat movements. You're a figurative artist because you get those movements of cat that only cats have, and I'm telling you, Victoria has it down pat. She knows cat movements. Walter the cat is the town cat that Sandy. I mean, Walter, he's becoming an old boy now. I mean, I'm thinking about how long we've known Walter. He's been. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he's probably about 8 or 9 now. He's been, there's our noon whistle.
Oh, yeah, it's noon. It's noon and lunchtime.
He's been very, very lonely since all this COVID has hit because he's very much a social animal. He loves visitors. He loves people to come in. He hears the door chime, and he's in the front office wanting to see who's come in. And he thinks, of course, they're all here to see him. And so we've been allowing the local karate school to do their classes in our park area. And so he has just been in heaven. There's all kinds of kids out there. And so he bolts out. As soon as we get here, he bolts out wanting to go out and hang with his buddies. But, yeah, he's been very lonely.
Aww. But he does strut. He's the man about town.
Really
and
cute.
Victoria, you've met Priscilla the sock monkey, our travel mascot. Well, Walter and Priscilla, Nancy thought, you know how Nancy is. Oh, let's see what happens. Well, Walter, he's like the cool cat, Mr. He's the cool cat. He really is, of town. And, got all nice and cozy with Priscilla, but then wanted to disembowel her at some point. I don't know what Priscilla did, but it was we had to take her away, and we learned from him. Now,
he thought it was a play toy.
Well, it is a play toy for dogs, so Priscilla hasn't been out very much, but over the last bit. But Sandy, isn't Walter in a mural somewhere in town?
He is. He's in
That's
our
awesome.
he's a hidden object in one of our newer murals, and
cool.
that one is the Fireball Ranch. And the artist in fact, we were doing one of your shows with the artist, Colleen Mitchell-Vena, and she was here in my office, so she, of course, had to lay on the desk, in front of her and make his presence known. And so she got to know him quite well. And so when I asked the committee if we could include him as a hidden object, they were happy to do so. So yes, he is immortalized on one of our murals.
That's so funny.
Oh.
That's really funny.
I love it.
I know, right? It's interesting with what happens with that. But now you've got sculptures too. So I wanted to touch base on that. What's new now and what's happening next?
Well, yes. It's been almost 2 years ago now. We installed 2 bronze sculptures, a bear and a mountain lion. They're not necessarily native to Exeter, but they're not too far away, and they're very close neighbors in the foothills and in the mountains. And we just kind of wanted to see how those would go over. So they're placed in planters in the center of town, and people have been having a lot of fun with them. They like them. and they dress the bear up for different holidays. And like the 4th of July, he had, all decked out in red, white, and blue. And they do the mountain lion, but they seem to dress the bear more because he's standing. And and that's fine as long as they don't try to, do anything to harm the sculpture itself. We think it's fun if that's what they want to do. But most of the time, he's just standing very proudly in the center of town. People have been happy with that. We just want to see if we should be branching out. The murals we have right now, we don't have any in the works to start a new mural. We're maintaining the ones we have. We've been applying the sealant materials to help protect them from the UV rays and different things. We have to do that every so often. So we've been concentrating on maintaining the murals that we have. And so maybe once all this COVID stuff passes, we'll get busy and decide what our next step is going to be.
Well, I certainly wish you luck on that. I mean, I can't imagine. The maintaining of them is significant. It's a significant cost, and I just think that it's so wonderful that your town and the people in your town are namely one that started it, and now keep it up and are thinking ahead to what's coming next. My hat is off to you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we invited early on when the committee and all this got started. We invited Carl Schutz to come, and we hired him to teach us how to do a successful mural project. And we use most all of his techniques still today because they have worked. And I think that's why ours has been successful versus some of the other communities. They all have beautiful murals as well. Most of the towns surrounding us have some murals. But we've been successful and he said to make sure that you decide early on how many can you support, not only commission, but how many can you take care of. And so we don't know that we're quite at the max number yet, but we're just deciding to concentrate since we didn't have our fundraiser. We don't really want to spend the money it takes to commission a new mural, so we've been investing in the maintenance.
Do you think next year in spring you'll be able to do the garden party again?
I certainly hope so. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble.
I want to go to the garden party. And I want to have blueberries and champagne at the garden party because I know you have blueberry farm going on out there. And I'm like, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
sounds right to me. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, we have the blueberries. They usually start harvesting those around Mother's Day.
See, blueberries, champagne, gardens, and art. What
there you
could go wrong with that other than like the coronavirus messing with us all? That needs to go now. We're tired of you. Leave.
Go away.
Leave.
Yes.
I know.
Yes, so we're all very tired of what it's doing to our communities and our economy and just the overall morale of everyone.
Yeah.
Just being cooped up and not being able to live life freely because of fear.
Well, I think with your community, with Exeter, people are able to walk around and see the art, and it's something to do. I know Sequoia Kings Canyon National Park, they're open. There's different things. You still have to social distance. We're going to be doing a show about that on August 5th, so everybody please join us for that. Sandy will be back on, too. And we're going to be talking about, what you can see and do. And public art is really one of those things you can do. With a mask on, you can go around to different communities and do that. And I just think that's, as soon as the COVID thing happened, I was like, everybody, public art, because it's something to see and do safely. And it's like an outdoor museum to me with the way you've done it in Exeter. Some communities, we see what they've done, and sometimes you have no clue at what you're looking at. And if they don't have some kind of interpretation, it's hard. I know you do mural tours. Is that something that you're still doing now with the whole COVID situation, or is that going to be picked up later?
probably be picked that we haven't had anyone request that, mainly because people just aren't traveling in large groups, and so we have not done them. Usually our spring and fall are our peak times for mural tours because the weather is nice and conducive for walking around. Summertime, it's a little warm. I know this fall, we don't know what some of our fall activities are going to look like, but we are going to continue with the Scarecrow contest. Because that is, again, something people can do independently, and it's not tied to a large gathering of any sort. They can go at their own time and pace and continue to social distance.
Oh, Victoria, can we put Scarecrows as public art? I mean, come on, it's creative.
Yes,
come
absolutely.
On. That is
some
so
of ours
cool.
are very creative.
Yes, they are.
I bet they are. Yeah.
Cool. I still love whenever it's time to promote the Scarecrows Festival and the Fall Festival that you have. Nancy's always like pulling out that pumpkin with the bloody hand coming out of it. It's like that's first thing I see.
Yeah.
You guys have a theme every year for the Scarecrow Festival. Do you know what it is this year, or has that been decided yet?
It has not. Last year we kind of did away with the theme because we had, some people said, "Oh, that's too hard. I can't think of anything." So we kind of just added a tagline like some of the other Scarecrow contests in the area and around the country do, and ours is just something to crow about. And it can be, can go anywhere with that because we've tried, more specific themes, and it just, people are, I don't know what to do. So you can't make everyone happy. So we thought, well, we'll just make it a tagline and people can just let their creative juices flow.
They will. Yes, that's good.
I like that. I like that. Well, thank you so much, Sandy. It's always a pleasure to hear your voice, and so glad to hear that Walter's doing good. I know we'll come see him soon and tell him Miss Priscilla is waiting to see him. Right now, she's hanging out with a big poodle, a French poodle named T-Lou. It's very French, very, very French. But anyway, we'll get up there soon and we'll chat with you next week, I know. But everyone, again, the website is exeterchamber.com. So go check out the murals. And this summer, it's something to do. Go early in the morning, late afternoon. It's the best time to photograph them. Perfect for Instagram photos, just saying all the selfie things. That's a cool thing to do. And have a good time. Exeter is awesome. Definitely want to visit on your way into the park or out of the park. And our parks get really busy, especially in summer, and I know Sequoia and Kings Canyon do too. And the public art and doing these mural tours and visiting the communities, that's one of the ways that we can lessen the footprint in our parks and kind of give a breather. So that's what I have to say about the beauty of public art. So you think, Sandy, it's true. People need to kind of have that balance, huh?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, so go to Exeter, exeterchamber.com. We're going to play a song for you. This is Clouds Alive in Wild Paint, because you got paint everywhere in your downtown. So this is from our good friend May Edwards, and she's up in Sacramento, so she's not that far from you. She's an Emmy Award-winning editor and has done so much in her life, and she's just one of those people that just keeps creating in all kinds of forms. She's amazing. And this is from her 4-CD collection, and this is the 4th album, and it's called Grace. So here it is. Clouds Alive in Wild Paint. Take care, Sandy.
Thank you. You too.
Nice talking with you, Sandy. Bye-bye.
Bye.